Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for coming. So tonight's webinar is Learn When to Make Subs in Your Diet for Maximum Results. Now, tonight's webinar is different than any webinar I've ever done, and here's why. I'm actually going to walk you through hand in glove the process that I go through when I design somebody's program, and the kind of the steps that I take and the measures that I go through. And because we all have heard this, we've all heard the whole substitution issue, or what are foods that I can sub. But anyway, we're going to dive into that head on and tackle it full speed tonight. So, like I said, this is going to be something that I've never done before, and I'm going to use my program as an example, since I'm confident and I believe with all my heart and my soul it's the most effective nutritional protocol designed to deliver healthy fat loss by feeding your body more food. And this is how it works. So the whole point of not needing subs, and by the way, all sub stands for is substitutions of different food. That's what it means. So if you have enough variety in your program, you're not going to need or want subs. So we all know a week has 7 days in it. Well, of those 7 days of the week, at least 5 of those days, maybe 6, but at least 5 are going to be different. So on at least 5 different days of the week, you're eating different than the other days, if that makes sense. So that right there is going to eliminate the whole substitution thing, because you're going to have a lot of variety. Now, anytime somebody signs up with me, they're immediately redirected to a evaluation page, and on that page, they tell me, I ask you, tell me all the foods that you prefer, and tell me all the foods that you want to avoid. And by doing that, that lets me know right there that your program is going to be designed with foods that you want to eat, the foods that you like to see. And we're going to avoid foods that you want to avoid. And that's key. So these first 2 steps are key, folks. Variety, and have foods you want, and avoid foods you don't want. It's simple enough. Next, and you guys can know this if you just read my FAQ page on my website. Actually, the page says 2 to 3, but 3 to 4 is fine. You get 3 to 4 tablespoons per day of spices, seasonings, condiments, whatever. And what that does is it adds flavor and pizzazz to your food. Okay? So, no, you don't have to eat a plain old grilled chicken breast. No, you can have it, you can have seasoning on it. You can have some soy sauce on it. You can have some ketchup on it. Now, this is a big one right here, is that you can cook your food any way you want to. That doesn't affect the nutrient balance of the food. Okay, you can crock pot it, grill it, bake it, saute it. I cook 99% of my stuff in the microwave or the George Foreman grill. That's it. And one thing, I don't think I listed this, so I'm going to tell it now. One thing that a lot of my clients, which actually I call them wolf pups, that's the name we coined for them, that they love to do is that at least once a day we'll have a salad, a big leafy salad. A lot of them like to bake or cook or microwave their salad. And I've done that before. And the reason why is a salad can take a long time to eat and just kind of be tedious. And if you zap it in the microwave or bake it, it's going to be warm, it's going to be hot, it's going to be juicy, and it'll literally lose 90% of its size. So it'll shrink, but all the juices will still be there, if that makes sense. And that's totally fine. You can get creative with this stuff. Now, you want to eat your program as is delivered, okay? And let me back up a second here, because I want to show this, and I'm going to refer to this little wolf pup in the next couple of slides. She actually won the transformation of the month last month for the group, the wolf pups, and her name is Amanda, but she goes by Sully, and this is one of her packaged meals for the day. She's packed up here and ready to roll, and I'm using a lot of her photos for this webinar because she's been probably the best new example of this. She's jumped in so early. But as soon as I send somebody their designed eating program, they've already got variety. It's already foods they prefer, and it's avoided foods they don't like. And the first thing I send them in the email is this. It says, let me know immediately if you want anything changed. Let me know. Guys, we'll tweak it. We'll go back. I might have missed something. You might have forgotten something. That's fine. No problem. We'll go back and do it. We want to get it right. I want to get you guys started off on the right foot. We want to hit the ground running. And the way you do that is to get it nailed down as soon as possible. You don't want to be 2 weeks in trying to fumbling around. If you don't like something you see, you let me know and I'll go fix it for you. That's what you're paying for. It's important you get that delivered to you. Value that. You should never have to do subs and switch stuff around. Now, this is a big one I get, and I would say 9 out of 10 people that sign up with me have this problem. And it's a good problem. Eat the first week even if you're stuffed. What that means is almost everybody that signs up can barely finish their food for the first week. And there's something about that 8th day, which is the first day of the second week, whatever day of the week it falls on, that makes no difference. The point is that when they start that, when they, on the second cycle, their metabolism starts to speed up. And it's difficult. A lot of folks out there have just brutally slow metabolisms, and we want to feed it. We're going to do the best way to speed up your metabolism, the healthy way. Excuse me, let me get a sip of water real quick. The best way to speed up your metabolism, the healthy way, is to feed it a ton of healthy food in the right amounts, at the right times of the day, in the right food combinations. That's all part of it, but that's my job to do. Your job is just to get your spoon and your fork and eat. And a lot of people, they're just stuffed. So even if you're stuffed the first week, try to eat all your food. We're not going to take food away. We don't want to ever take food away. If anything, we want to add food. We don't ever want to take food away the first week. Now, if you're hungry, heck yeah, we'll add food. I don't ever want you hungry the first week of your program. You shouldn't be starving between meals. You shouldn't, now you might be, as you go weeks into it, as you're, several months into it, you might be a little bit hungry periodically. That may happen. But the point is, especially, we want you full and satisfied. And of course, we add food immediately if you're too hungry. Next up, subtract food if you can't finish a meal by week 2. So what that means is that, let's say by week 2, and I usually have 1 in 20 people by week 2, about 1 in 20 people, their bodies just don't, they still don't get hungry even during week 2. It's still just too much food. And that's fine. Then we just subtract food. We don't ever want to, I'd rather subtract food than add food. You don't want to get in a situation where you're having to add food, because that clearly proves that the person wasn't given enough food to begin with. So anyway, for some people whose metabolisms just don't adjust right away, or even the second week, then yeah, we'll take food out. That's fine. And I'll do that. Don't you do it, I'll do it. That's what I'm here for. Now, let me touch on this. When I say out of control issues, here's what I mean. Out of control issues would be the grocery store is out of orange roughy. Can I use tuna? I'm out of chicken breast, so can I use turkey? I'm out of broccoli. Can I use cauliflower? Well, yes, that's not an error. And you can make a substitution like that if, for whatever reason, they're out of it at the store or you forgot to buy some. But that shouldn't be something that's happening every single day, because if you're making substitutions every day, multiple meals of the day, then you're really not following your program anymore. It won't kill you if you do, and it really won't hurt you at all if you do, but if you do it, try to minimize it. And once again, here's a good example, and I had a thread, and it's still up. I have a huge thread in the journal section, and it got really bad back in 2012. Every day I'd have somebody say, it was the same woman, every day she would say, what can I sub for peas? What can I sub for green beans? And it got to the point to where, here's the thing, guys. You folks are parents, your moms, your dads, you're a wife, and you've got to be the adult in the room. You've got to, and I put right here, be an adult. What if it rains? Well, you're going to have to make a decision. Do you work out, or do you prepare your next meal? Or do you, what do you do? Do you go indoors or outdoors? What if you have an appointment at the doctor or wherever and it changes? and you're going to, all of a sudden, you're not going to be able to eat your meal on time. Well, you should pack your meal with you, but let's say you weren't expecting to, and all of a sudden you're in a pinch. Well, you're going to have to manage that. So, listen, guys, there's some things in life when that comes up, you're just going to have to be an adult and make a decision on. And if you have to switch a food choice because of one of those decisions that might be out of your control, that's okay. Just make a smart decision and minimize it. As simple as that. Simple as that. Okay, what if somebody says, when do I get my subs? I want to sub some food. First thing I'm going to say, and I had a woman way back in, I don't know, 2010, and I sent her the program. She's like, well, can I sub this for that or this for that? And I'm thinking, you just told me all the foods you liked. You got variety. Well, you already asked you, do anything change? You don't. No, there are no subs. These are all foods you want. You don't need to sub anything. But here's the thing. You won't need them if all the info given was correct and you communicate to me during week 1. Does that make sense? So if you gave me the right food you prefer, you gave me the food you don't like, it's got variety, you can use spices, seasonings, ketchups, condiments, you can prepare your food, saute it, bake it, broil it, whatever. Why do you need subs? And even if you do need something, let's say that, and I'm going to get to this here in a minute. Let me see if this is it. And we'll keep that up, but because I'm going to lead into that. But here's the thing: during week number 1, if someone says to me, you know what, I just don't like, and here's a good example: Wolf Pup Leanne, who's made awesome progress. I should put her up. She's lost over 40 pounds in her first 6 months, but she just does not like salmon and tomatoes together for whatever reason. Well, that's fine. And she just made her, it just was a gross feeling or whatever. People have quirky feelings. But here's the thing, guys. You need to let me know that during the first week. Don't let it drag on. People, I understand that. Some people might want to give their program a go and just try it out. If there's a food combination, you like the foods, but you just don't like the funny texture of the combination, you all know what I'm talking about. We all have that. Let me know during the first week. Because here's the thing, if you, when the second week or the third week rolls around and you're still, you're tired of something, or you just, that tells me if it was that big of a deal, you would have told me the first week or immediately, or you would have really told me in your evaluation. I had somebody say, well, what's a substitute for chickpeas? And they were literally on their 4th week. I'm like, we'll go over that when you renew. You don't need to sub your 4th week. We'll just do it when you renew. So let's keep moving here. Here's the thing, guys. The whole point, I want to get your program right. We want to get it right before you start it. And as you see my webinar here, I've told you the exact process. I mean, if anybody has a question, ask it in the question box, and I'll answer it when I'm done with the webinar here in a few minutes. I mean, do you agree? Yes, you have a thorough, ironclad process, or what about this? Or you might have a question about a certain situation, but you can ask these anytime you want. But let me know. Do you do your due diligence? Do you do a thorough screening process of each and every client that comes through, every single wolf pup? And I'm confident I do. But you're welcome to throw an opinion in there and ask a question too about the process. But let me keep rolling with this. We're on a roll here. So, and what you want to do is you got to execute your program for a complete month in order to give it time to work. If you're making subs and switching stuff around, and then you don't get the results you want, and you're like, well, Jeff, I didn't follow the program. I subbed, I made a bunch of subs. I don't know. I might not know what to change up if you weren't following it. I hope that makes sense. Let me move on to the next one here. Now, here's a unique situation. If you have an allergy, or you develop some type of food allergy or digestive issue, or just can't stomach an unusual food combination. And there's some people like that. And they'll try to suck it up week 1, and week 2 or week 3, they'll be like, I just can't handle tuna. Or every time I eat asparagus, I get super bloated. Can I sub it? Yes, I will help you out. We don't want anybody, having indigestion or horrible bloating or having some bizarre food allergy. Who knows? Sometimes there might be some issue to something you might not even know you had, and eating a nutritious food still might just not jive with your system. That's okay. I'm going to work with you. We don't want that. If it's a situation like that, I'm game. Yeah, we're going to get you, even if it's past the first week. And you get subs or changes at the end of the first month after you submit your progress chart and renew. And that way I can look at your progress chart, which I send you when you sign up, and you fill it out after the end of each month, and it's very short. It's your hunger levels, uh, were they high, low, or medium? Your energy levels, high, low, or medium? Your waist measurement, your height and weight. That's it. No body fat. Nope, none of that. Just those basic, very simple. Guys, I'm a simplifier. Call me the simplifier. I keep things simple. We're going to do it. We're going to be the simplest, most effective program out there. Now, it's simple. We've heard this expression, it's simple, but it might not be easy because it does take discipline and you do have to pack your food. Anyway, but that's when we I've had people come to me. Let me move on to the next slide and I'll make some points here. So here's some typical excuses for subs, and these are preference related. Notice this right here. This is not medical related or digestion related or allergy related. This is preference related. This is a typical excuse. My turkey and beans are bland. I want some salmon instead. And this is reported during week number 2. Well, for those of you watching tonight, I mean, we've already gone through the whole itinerary. I mean, and the solution is we'll put seasoning or spices on it. I mean, why didn't you tell me that during week number 1? If it was that bland, I mean, what. Excuse 2. I don't like the hummus with meal 3. And this is reported during week 2. And this is a true complaint or excuse. This person actually told me they wanted hummus and loved it. And I'll work it in. I'm going to give you what you want now. We're going to get you well fed. But you got to, you can't change your mind. So, during the month at least. And this is reported week 2. And the solution is simple. Well, why didn't you tell me? Or in other words, did you not like it week 1? I mean, what made you change your mind week 2? So, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to do everything in my power to get you on the right track when you sign up. And even I'm going to reiterate this, repetition is the mother of skill. And this is like the 5th time I've said it. And we'll tweak your program even the first week. If need be, we'll make a tweak if we need to. But after that, you got to run with it. I mean, you got to follow it. That's part of being an adult. That's part of being a disciplined person. And, you got to execute it. Switching the food up, it's not part of the deal. Now this is who I'm bragging about. Now this is Amanda, and she goes by Sully on the client journal sections. This is the number one biggest thing I get. What if I go out to eat with friends? And the solution number 1, order closely to your assigned meal as possible. Well, look what she ordered at a Tex-Mex restaurant. She got her avocado. She got her little salad. She got shrimp. About 3 ounces of shrimp. Boom, that's a meal. Perfect. She did it. That's it. How hard was that? But that's not what it's okay if it's not exactly what your program said. For her, and she's so in tune and in touch with what's going on, she's able to step in, say we got our vegetable or fibrous carb or fat and the protein source, and that's what that meal called for. She might have had beef, she might have had olive oil, whatever she might have had on her program, but she got the closest thing possible. I don't have her program in front of me, so I don't know. This might have even been, she might have even had shrimp and salad and avocado and just ordered it from the restaurant. So she got as closely as she can. The foods that you pick on your program where I give you, they're going to be stuff 99% of restaurants are going to have. So how hard was this, guys? And look at, this is a 3-month progress. Look at this girl, 16 pounds of fat she lost and gained muscle. Are you kidding me? Here, my mom wants to take me to go to lunch with her. Now, I think this was actually, they went to Six Flags. I'll let her correct me if I'm wrong. I think they went to some venue, some outdoor venue of some type. I think it was Six Flags because they wouldn't let you bring bags in, but she put her little meal in a Tupperware and snuck it in her purse in her little pill case. But here's their solution number 2. Bring along your own meal. Now, this might be weird to do in a restaurant. I'll give you that. But like at an outdoor festival or a Six Flags or a venue, yeah, guys, you don't need a big giant cooler. You can put a little bitty meal, and she could have probably fit it in something half this size if she diced it up. Agreed? And grab a water bottle or buy a water there if you can't fit it in your purse. So look at this transformation, guys. This is someone, and I don't want to brag on her too much, but basically she is someone that is an emotional eater her whole life, and for her, she can pack her food now. She'll get after it in the kitchen. But it's the emotional food and snacking on stuff, if there's stuff in the house. So this is someone that's needed the right format, the right structure, and the right tools to get the job done. She has the willpower and discipline. For her, the physical's there. It's just her. It's what's between the ears. And a lot of women are like that. So, guys, this was a short webinar tonight. Now I'm going to reduce the screen, and I'm going to read it. So don't panic. I'm not going to cut it off. I'm just going to reduce the screen. And if we have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Well, very good. I'm happy everybody enjoyed it, and we'll wrap this bad boy up.